Hey, this is Jeremy with Grow Home Care Marketing. I'm so excited today to be meeting with Chris with Empire Consulting. Is that right?
Yes.
I got your name right. Okay, perfect. So, Chris, I want you to just kind of share with the audience a little bit about
Empire Home Care
yourself.
Consulting.
What's that?
Empire Home Care Consulting.
Yes, yes. So I just want you to, I missed the home care part.
Yeah, good.
I want you to just share with the audience who you are and how you got started in the home care industry.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I go back in the day. I know with home care, in general, I kind of got a little taste of it when I was younger. And my father, he's a podiatrist, and um, it was a little bit different than the average physician. If you don't know what a podiatrist is, a foot doctor, and he saw his patients in his offices, but he also saw his patients in nursing homes and assisted livings and foster homes. And so as a kid, I always loved going to work with him. He loved taking me with him. I wear my little suit, sometimes. And I was really excited to actually really just go out to lunch with him at the end of the day. You didn't know as a kid, but, you just were excited to be there And so it was fun to see the different dynamics of how people needed care. And
Yeah.
so as a kid, I kind of felt like that it was just embedded in me to help people, and to be in the healthcare industry. And I carried that on over the years. And so getting into the home care industry, I felt like that I never knew as a kid or wherever I would ever be, where in the industry that I would be. And I just felt like healthcare was for me, and helping people. It was just in my bones. And, um, you know, I don't want to make this too long of a story, but I went to medical school, pursued a bachelor's degree, and applied to go into podiatry school like my father.
Well,
And
so you would go work with your dad, right? Like he would take you in, you'd be in a little suit you were mentioning.
yeah, till this day, I think he's had receptionists who'd be like, "Oh, I remember you used to come to work in that little suit."
That's
But
awesome.
but as time goes on, you kind of figure out what you want, and what you really, really, truly, really want to do for the rest of your life. And like in the big picture was to help people and be in healthcare. And
Why
so
did you, you're a smart guy, you know, you could have gone and have been a heart doctor. You could have gone and been an investment banker. You had all these different things. You're talking about helping people. Why did you want to help people?
yeah, like it goes back to when you're young. I think it made me feel good as a person. When you ask me why I want to help people, it just makes me as a person to be able to give and help somebody. It was just something that it was a sense of enjoyment, you know? And so I feel like that any industry you do, you are doing that. You could drop ship me or any one of you in any industry, and like the sense of enjoyment, it has to be the point where you love what you do. And
Yeah,
so I didn't love when I was in medical school. I loved going to I loved going to school, but I didn't love it. And I didn't
right.
have the full passion to continue to be there.
And
And
that's what I want to tell everybody who's watching this. You've got people who are just starting out in the
yeah,
home care, and some of them are starting out for the wrong reasons. I'm just going to be upfront. They're starting out because they think they're going to go make, $1 billion. And it's going to be all passive. They're not going to have to work that hard. There's not a single home care agency owner that I don't know that's not working their butt off. Now, I mean, that's not necessarily the best way to do it. Are there ways to put automation into place so you're not having to work around the clock? Yes, but there's a lot of home care agencies that love the business. So to them, they're not necessarily working, right? And they're living the life, so to speak, around the clock. And they're not necessarily stressed out. They just love what they do, right? And so if you're getting into this business to go make $1 billion and never talk to, a senior, and you don't really care about that stuff, but you care about making money, and it's just a money opportunity, get out right now. It's not for
heartbreak.
you.
Yeah.
I always tell people, get into the business where you're working and you don't feel like you're working.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people in America are in that boat. You know, they don't, they look at the money where that's the motive.
Yeah.
But really, they should be looking at that's the reward. You know, the reward of working hard and finding something that you really like to do. There's countless of hours. I can work, like, people think I'm crazy. I can work like many hours and come up with projects and things that I got going on. It's only because I have a sense of enjoyment and I love what I do.
Right.
But you may think it's crazy, but to me, it's an enjoyment. But the reward is that after you put in your time and you are doing what you're doing, is like the material things and the money. That's
Right.
the reward of it, you know. And people, they get heartbroken in home care is because they feel like that, like they are going to make a lot of money and all that, and they see, they maybe compare themselves, which is the worst thing to ever do, is to compare yourself to others. You
Oh
know,
my gosh. Yeah.
it's like really, you know, it's a heartbreaker. You see that people, they see what happens in this industry, the things that you go through, that they don't punch through it. You know, it's because they don't really, the things that were the hard that's hard in the industry that you go through with the hiring and the recruiting and the marketing and, you know, all that, they quit. They quit.
Right.
And the only reason why they quit is because they didn't have a true passion to be able to find a way to find a solution for it. And that's why I see where you're right, you hit on the button, is that, you know, don't go in the industry if you really think you're gonna make like $1 million. If you're gonna make $1 million and you want to make $1 million company, and you want to make it to a 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm sorry, but it comes with problems. It comes with issues, and it comes with more integration. It comes with more accountability that you have to provide. And and so, like, you know, the more that you learn to go in the industry and you're more involved with it, and you really care about what you do, you just overcome those issues.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of those things where, you know, you've got people that are just trying to make a buck. And so just to encourage you guys, for the people that are entering the home care space, trying to make a buck, trying to take your clients, blah, 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 stick in there, because at the end of the day, if you love what you do and you love servicing the seniors and making them smile, changing their life, that's not going to last very long. You'll stick around. They'll go find the next, you know, shiny object type thing. And speaking of that, you know, I know that you do some home care business consulting. Talk a little bit about, because, you know, so you got into home care because you loved helping. It seems like, you know, your dad probably helped a lot of seniors and you love the seniors, it sounds like. And we've had many conversations. That is kind of what I've gathered, is that you love working with seniors. And you and your sister started your home care company. Talk a little bit about, you know, the startup phase, like the first year, how you guys were just pounding the pavement, and kind of where you're at now.
Yeah. Left school in Ohio, came back to Michigan, and you know, it was an existing company, our home health company. So home health care, if you're not sure what it is, others, but most home care owners do, is that, you know, it's a license. Insurance will cover it. Doctor has to write a script. You can send a nurse and a therapist out. It's a short-term type of care, called integrated type of care, but to reach goals. So hitting the ground with my sisters, you know, she went to school for marketing, and she was a marketing director for another home care company, and then started ours in good faith that we had a great community and a good reputation, and so we really wanted to just provide a good service in our community. And then so out there marketing, and she was out there. I transitioned from leaving and coming here to working with her, and a great mentor. You know, she's the type of person where she speaks with her heart, and she builds that trust right away with when you're out in the field. And so I've learned a lot about home care, and when I made that switch coming in from Ohio to Michigan, I really needed to understand home care. I wasn't going to go sell somebody something. You know, I really wanted to make sure we were serving the community the right way. So I went to a consulting group, stayed there for 5 days. You know, they taught me about home care, softwares, the things that we were using, and came back, still didn't really, you know how to gain accounts. It was really about being on the field, you know, building relationships. And I started from the ground up. That's how I felt like that I needed to learn is how to develop relationships for people that really needed care, and who are the right people to go out there to make sure that we can ask the right question and provide the service for them. And so I did that for No, I would say 2009 to 2012.
So
You
where's
know,
your company now with, as far as, billable hours and caregivers?
gosh, we're every, I would say every 2 weeks, close to maybe 6,000 billable hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and growing and growing.
Okay.
Yeah, every 2 weeks we're there, and so definitely, we're grateful and rewarded for that experience.
Yeah.
To be able to get to that point, COVID definitely had dropped our billable hours. But then at the end of the day, a lot of companies are going through that right now. And if you will overcome it if you love what you do and you create systems in place and you continue marketing and you go with the times and do things like, for example, what you do. Jeremy is so great at what he does and SEO and integrating automation with your family, your clients, and your employees, which is a necessity. And so, I didn't, I didn't really know that when I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't have a coach. I just knew business owners. My family members a lot of them were entrepreneurs. I soaked it all in as much as I can, and you kind of do differentiate yourself. But that's when I started my private duty company after 3 years of hitting the pavement,
Yeah.
and building up our home healthcare company.
Let me ask you this. I'm assuming that something that has helped you and why you're doing home care consulting now to help other home care agencies grow, is the systems that you've created on the things that you've learned. And there might be some people watching saying, I've already have a home care agency and I've had it for several years. I don't need, systems. Talk about systems for a second. I mean, procedures and I am not talking about like the things that you have to have in place to be state certified and licensed. I'm talking about, marketing procedures, marketing systems. That way, you can go hire somebody and they know exactly what you want them to do. And the things that you're wanting them to do has actually proven to get results as far as sales. I think there's too many people out there that don't understand the difference between digital marketing and then marketing and sales, door hangers, print material. They don't understand the differences of all of the things that marketing encompasses. You've got marketing up here, but it's like a tree and it just trickles down. Sales is part of that, right?
Yeah.
And I think too many times they just don't understand that. Well, if you don't understand that, you really need to get your bearings or work with somebody, right? Like us or Chris or Nick or just any of these people that you could get to and create your internal systems, create your internal processes to go out there and make an impact. Because at the end of the day, I know that most home care agency owners that I talk to and that we work with started their business because they love seniors. They love helping them, and they've either been through a bad experience with some franchise home care agency, and then they wanted to come out and create some kind of impact, right?
Or
That's
take care of their loved one, and home care came in and they experienced that, and they loved what they performed for their loved one.
right. And so just to, for example, I had to do home care for my mom.
Yeah.
My mom had end-stage renal failure, end-stage congestive heart failure, and I had to change her diapers. And she went from walking to needing a walker to needing to be in a wheelchair, pushed around to where she could stand up and down, to where she couldn't stand up and down anymore to get in a wheelchair, to where she was bedbound. And when it got to that stage, I mean, we had caregivers that were just caregivers, not CNAs. Some of the caregivers didn't know how to, turn her to get her diaper changed. I had to tell them, and I wasn't even, a caregiver. Now, thankfully, I wouldn't know this either, but my wife was a CNA previously before we got married. So it was like my wife knew what to do, and she was like training the caregivers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure she's calling them out too.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I can't believe this person doesn't know what they're doing. But, there's different stages of care, and that, and most of these home care agencies that are watching us know that there's different stages of care. So, it was kind of our fault because we didn't properly inform who's one of my clients, my choice. hey, my mom can't walk anymore. She's now bedbound, right?
Yeah.
And there's probably systems and procedures on that, right? So
Yeah.
can you just share a little bit about the procedures that you've created and how important that is?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go back to the basics really to make it so everybody's relatable to everyone is that, it goes down to the hiring process. You really got to diagnose the person that's coming into your organization, and we call it activities of daily living. The person really has to own up to all the activities of daily living, from the personal care to all the hygiene and grooming and the lifting and transferring and mobility and dementia care and medication management. You need to dig into their experiences that they had in the past, and a lot of the caregivers they have come in for like 1 year, and a lot of home care agencies have a requirement, at least 1 year of experience. You got to dig in and exactly what their personal experiences. It's just like you and I. If I'm going to develop a relationship with you, you know what I mean? You and I are going to develop a relationship based on like the history and the interest that you and I have together, and then that creates a bond. You have to create that when you first hire an employee, to be able to make sure that this person is 100% all in for you and to work for you and take care of your client and has all the skills. Hiring somebody off the streets is a big thing that people think in the home care industry about what we do. And that's something that you don't want to have that reputation ever, And so really diving into and having that first initial contact of making sure that person has all activities of daily living and knows how to make sure, because the worst thing you could ever do is that you have a client that does not have a delighted experience, and they say that your caregiver didn't know how to do this or A, B, C, or D, didn't follow the care plan and didn't understand what's going on. And so that's where you want to prevent that.
And I'll just say this, look, you might be watching this video and you might say, well, I don't have these kinds of procedures. I don't feel like I need them. You do.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. You might say, well, I'm not good at writing down stuff. So Chris, we were talking earlier, you've created a bunch of videos. Did you just film yourself and then you send out like just, you used even something as simple as Constant Contact to send these out. Now, we have software that can actually text videos, email videos, SMS text, Facebook Messenger. I mean, you name it, much more involved than Constant Contact. But I'm simply saying that you don't have to get even as advanced as that. You could do just something very simple like Constant Contact. Now, again, get in touch with us. Don't use Constant Contact. We have a better solution. But
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make your life easier.
Talk about the videos that you shot.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, your word and just like marketing, your content is important. What you say and what you do are two different things. Okay. And so the same thing is that when you're doing a care plan, if I'm going to go, video is everything. I'm talking about it all the time now. If you can do a video and talk about it and tell all the expectations of what this family, exactly what they want, and go over all the details and shoot that out to 10 caregivers, that's so strong. That's where Jeremy comes in places where that I can create a video right now when I get off this, which I created 2 care plans, video care plans of clients that I knew that had some things that were very important. We've been taking care of them for the past month, but there were some extra things to talk about. I can't go out and talk to 10 caregivers, and some of our staff members normally would call 10 caregivers, and you have to wait for them to call you back. I know if I shoot a video right now, and if I send it to their text message, they're going to watch my video. Everybody does. You send somebody a video, they always watch it. So that's what we do is we want to make sure that we work faster and smarter. And then that's why working with Jeremy is that we can create a video right now and shoot it out to all of our caregivers and also our clients too. If I want to say happy birthday to my clients, and it's all of them have a birthday in June, and I want to say, hey guys, I want to say happy birthday to you. We appreciate you as a client. This is things why you want to use systems like this and move on with your day too.
Right. Yeah. So you're not stuck there. So that's awesome. what is some of the problems? I know that we had a conversation about hiring caregivers and getting quality staff. So what is some of the problems that you solve with your consulting company? Just share with the audience real quickly, because not everybody will necessarily make it this far into the video, but just to get straight into the meat real quick,
Yeah.
what is it you can help people with? Is there one thing that you can share, a tip, that they can do something in their home care agency that can make an impact?
First, book a call with me. And 10 years of experience, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's a lot of things that continually do happen to home care agencies. But what I would say is besides booking a call with me, let me see exactly what you're doing and see what your systems are. But the tip that I would give this, is be transparent, be true to your word, and don't sugarcoat what the expectations are, what you can and can't do as a home care owner. If you can't do something, tell the family you can't do it, and then what your game plan is. Transparency and honesty is the only thing that will save you in this industry, because there's things that do happen, and you need to be honest and true to your employees and to your clients. And that it goes along with communication. That's the second is you have to have good communication skills to be able to tell family members and client and employees what things are going on live, so that way they can prepare. Caregivers
Right.
need to prepare, and also too is your client needs to prepare too. And the third thing is follow up. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, or you make sure you follow up with what your game plan is. And that's what I would give advice to other home care owners.
That's really good. That's really good. From a lot of the home care agencies that we work with, just a common thing that I hear, like you were talking about, is they're trying to do these different services and they don't actually work in that yet, but they're already trying to sell it or pitch it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
get really, really good at what you're good at, right? Before you start, just because you see money, it's like, oh, there's money over here, so we're going to go offer this service now. For example, like transportation. And I'm
What's
like, do you have any experience in transportation? No. Okay. Why are you doing that? Well,
well,
there's a company that's growing, and I'm like,
dude, do you know people need to understand what it takes to run a business? You know what I mean? What you see, a lot of times what comes in, what comes out. If you have a larger you get, you have to run your organization. And the smart CEOs out there, they don't take they reinvest into their business to
yeah.
continue to grow it.
And there's nothing
So,
wrong with starting transportation. I'm not saying that
yeah,
that's anything. I'm just saying that, like
but
you
the
were
money,
saying, being transparent, what you can do and what you can't do,
yeah,
because the worst thing that can happen, I feel like, is that you offer a subpar service, because you haven't properly trained the staff, or you don't have enough manpower to provide that service, and you've got to fill in, or maybe they're late, or maybe they're not coming and showing up. So then
no,
the client just gets mad and they
yeah,
go and they post on Google, never use this company again.
yeah, that's the worst. Don't go on Google. Yeah, yeah. But there's customers that will do that, and I always have an approach on that. Is that you can't always control the person that's going to go out there and do that. There's always two sides to a story too. Whatever they said on Google, you don't know exactly what happened on the other side. But it's really good if you're a business owner to actually respond tastefully, respectfully too. And it's always you can respond as a business owner on Google too. And people do read that, and you're human. They see
Oh,
what
I have a little tip on
they see
that I'll
what
share
you.
with people. Depending on if the review is truthful, like
Yeah,
if it's an actual real client, sure, respond to it.
yeah,
If it's a bad one, and you
yeah.
should also respond to the good ones, right?
Exactly.
Good. That's an algorithm thing that you need to be paying attention to.
Yeah.
But
Google's
if it's
been recently doing that lately. They've been sending you messages saying, "Would you like to reply to your review?"
yeah, they want you to reply to even the good ones. But here's another thing. Let's say it's a maybe a caregiver that never started work, right? Or let's say it's a competitor and you don't know which one. You might have an idea who it is. You can actually report those, and you should. Don't respond to those. If you respond to one of those false reviews, you actually give it more validity, right? Yeah, in Google's eyes. and they're less likely to remove it. So be careful not to respond to spam or fraud type reviews that you know that it's not real. You can't find the client's name. It's not one of their children. It's not a caregiver. You know, don't respond to that. Just report that and ask caregivers, ask office staff to report that as well. The more reports, the more likely it gets reviewed and taken away. So anyway, other than that, that's really good tips, Chris. What's your website so people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, homecareempire.com.
Okay. So if they want to get consulting, it's, what is it, 15 minutes free, or what is it?
30-minute call, and if it runs over, no big deal. But main thing is just book a call and let's have a conversation.
Cool. All right. So if you want to get in touch with Chris, his info is there. We'll make sure to add that to the screen. Well, I just appreciate you, Chris, and you coming on today. Other than that, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions, Chris, you're in the group. You can respond to people. You can tag Chris in this video in a comment. Make sure you let Chris know if you have questions. Don't send him a private message. I hate that when people, oh, would you answer this or that? Here's the thing. A lot of other people in the group could benefit from the question that you're asking. And we shouldn't have the mindset that, you know, any question that you ask might help your competitors because, you know, it's going to give you a leg up. We need to have the mindset that, you know, we're in the ocean, and it's a prosperity mindset where, you know, anything that would help us, sure, it might help our competition, but we need to be so good at what we do. It doesn't matter how much help they have. We always come out on top because we're so good at what we do. Now, if you're having a subpar service, I guess that's different.
No, you know, I work with my competitors. You know, if anybody's my competitor, if anything, I look at like what they're doing, you know, and you know, I guess you can consider it as an idea, you know, for you possibly, but you got to always differentiate yourself too. You can't always look at your competitors all the time. You got to separate yourself from the wolf pack, you know.
Yep.
You got to go out and you got to be a lion, a hunter. You got to go hunt and bring food back.
Yeah, I love it.
You got to be a hunter, man. You know, you got to, you know, that's what a marketing mentality is, type A personality. That's always I was. If I'm going to go out there, I'm going to market. I want to go out, but I got to bring food back to the family. Got to figure out a way.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Be a hunter.
There you go. All right. Another tip from Chris, be a hunter.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I consult, you know, I could, you know, like other marketers that are out there. You have a home care company, but your marketer is not like motivated, or they need to have like some advice, especially going out to the assisted livings and going out to physicians and, you know, and senior center events, all these things, you know, I've done, and how to develop those relationships and talk to the gatekeeper, you know, and, you know, it's so important. And your marketer needs to be dialed in, you know.
Needs to be a hunter.
They have to be. Yeah, for sure. If your marketer is not a hunter, I would suggest that take the DISC test by Tony Robbins and see what their personality is. And that's really, really good. That tells you like what it gives you. It's not and beyond all. We can't like ever say a test is ever going to tell you who you are, because we all can change.
Mm-hmm.
We can change, you know, but it's really good test. It tells you about the personality. And there are statistics out there that show like what are really good personalities that are good marketers that are out there.
Yeah. I wonder what my personality is.
You're a hunter.
I'm going to get that meat, right? So anyway, but thank you guys for watching. If you have questions, post them in the comments. We love you guys.
Yeah, we love you all. Take care. Yep.
Bye-bye.